the first. Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group, and we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA. Rennie, always good to see you, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
Thanks for coming out and talking with us. And back to class for kids in Clinton, which means your Y-Zone program is going to be off and running this afternoon and even this morning, I guess, with first day of school.
The facility was a little different this morning, not having the slew of camp kids either outside ready to go about their day, the field trip that was planned, and just there's a lot of activity over the summer. And so today it's kind of it's a lot quieter.
It's a little quiet, yeah.
So yes, back to school though. So we run right up from camp right into Y-Zone, and I believe the schedule today is even an early out.
Yes, 1:30.
So a little different this year, at least for the first 9 weeks, and with the changes that were going on at Lincoln. What the school district was, adding the classes and this the pure number of enrollment at Lincoln. We've decided to move all of Y-Zone to CES for the first 9 weeks, and we'll see how that works. We may be able to keep it there for the remainder of the year, or maybe revert back and see if the school could let us use Douglas. It might be better for everybody but I know, even beginning of the school year, just everyone getting back in the routine, and with the number of cars that could be through Lincoln, I think this was a smart move for us to kind of relieve some of that stress on the teachers and the staff, and even our staff and the kids that'll be going to Y-Zone. So that's a change. And I know Melinda Akers, who is the director of all of our child care, before and after school care, has let parents know, and we'll keep them updated on any other changes that occur throughout the year.
Okay, very good. So making that change. So is it just simply busing the Lincoln Douglas kids over to CES then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every year since I've been involved at the Y, they've always taken the kids from Douglas to Lincoln. But this year that bus wouldn't even need to be needed for us, because I think it's just pre-K that's in Douglas. So we take kids K through 5, and it was K through first grade. We're all at Lincoln, and so now those kids, those kindergarten and first grade, will just be transported to CES.
I feel like that's probably a bigger change for parents than maybe you guys. I feel like if you can consolidate your staff and your activities to one location, that's probably better for you all. But I think the biggest change will be for the parents and getting used to going to CES rather than that Lincoln Douglas school pickup.
You're right. Operationally, for the Y, this is a much better situation for us as far as staffing, materials, supplies, just the logistics of having all the kids in one spot. I don't know how many parents that we have that have multiple kids. Some of them had kids that went to CES and Lincoln, and so
we had that for a few years in our family.
Probably like, this would be a great change, because now I can just pick up at one spot versus 2.
Yeah, sure, very good. So that's a significant change. And you mentioned it's only for a short time. Do you said 9 weeks, do you have a time frame of when you'd like to know, like, hey, this will work, or this isn't going to work, we need to do something different? Do you have a time frame in mind when you'd like to know what the future of this consolidation looks like?
Well, a lot of that would revolve around the time frame it would take for us to have Douglas, if that's going to be a new location for the after school program. There's a big process to even get that done through the state. I mean,
no kidding.
Yeah, I have to have an application for license exemption, and
they've got to probably approve the facility and all those things. Oh, wow.
Melinda will know here pretty shortly, I would say within a month, on how it's going to work, having all the kids. I mean, I don't see a problem for the first 9 weeks. Where it becomes more difficult is when you get into those late fall days where it starts getting colder, and the sport teams are using CES gym after school for practices. That, if when you start taking away the gym for us to use with that number of kids, then we're just going to have to adapt on, at the school. We can maybe sit down with them and find if there's a classroom that we could use and I know we get to use the cafeteria, but that's where it gets tough. Even with just having kids at CES, when you can't have that gym space, and we understand that 100%. That the school needs it for their sport activities and after school programming. So we will have to make a decision before too long if we're going to go ahead and do that application process.
Yeah. Well, and on a good day between the two locations, what's attendance of Y Zone look like?
That varies from obviously year to year and day to day, because some parents need it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some need it Monday through Friday. Some only need it on one day of the week. And so, I think typical, just pure numbers, we could have 100 kids registered for Y Zone, but they all are not going at the same day. So I'd have to, and we'll find out here pretty soon what kind of the routine is and the typical numbers that are going to be as far as staffing goes too. There's times that I've been there that we've had 40 kids. There's times I've been there, we've had 23 kids. Now that is CES and Lincoln. Lincoln always had less because it was just K through 1. So when you add K1 or K through 5 together in one location, you add another 20 kids to 40. If that's going to be the numbers, then we'll have to look to see if it's even better for us to have that many kids there.
Sure. Rennie Cluver is the executive director of the Clinton YMCA, our guest in studio here for this morning. Well, let's go back, Rennie, at its root. Y Zone. What is this program? What's it all about? Maybe there's folks new to the community. I know there's probably folks in Farmer City listening this morning because this is going to be coming to their community on a limited basis this year. Give us a rundown of what is Y Zone? What are you doing with the kids? What's this program all about?
The simple summary is it's a before and after school program for parents, and it's childcare. And I would say it's not your everyday typical childcare. It's not like dropping them off at a babysitter. But if you need to get to work early before you can drop off kids at school, we've got that program there for you. Drop them off, we take care of them until the bell rings for them to go to class. And then after school, we're there. If you can't pick them up after school, if they don't ride the bus home or to a grandparent's or an aunt, uncle's house, whatever what you need for your child to go to after school, we are in the building. Now at CS, then the kids will be bused from the other schools to get there. And it's just, it's activities, it's homework help if they need it. There's, a lot of recess time just to kind of let the kids unwind from a long day of school. And it runs after school from the time the bell rings. So let's say 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And so we give those parents that work out of town, they get off at 5:30, they get time to get home, get back to Clinton and pick up their kids.
What's it look like before school? What is that program? How about the before school program? What are they doing leading up to that school day?
That one is really laid back. Because most kids that are dropped off, let's say that they're dropped off at 7 o'clock. Some of them are still just
waking up,
dragging
a little bit.
and there's not a large number of kids, and it just depends on the personality of the kids. If there's activities there for them to do, if they just want to sit there and relax, they can, which I would say is probably the majority of them. Otherwise, they can grab a basketball and go shoot. They can. It is a lot more flexible in the morning just because of the limited numbers. It's not as big, and I don't even know what typical numbers are.
Now, is the before school program at just CES as well, and they get bused to their school then?
Yes, we changed that a couple of years ago because of the pure numbers. As far as logistic and operating financially, it was easier just to have it one location because we only really needed 2 staff people. But if we had 2 locations, we needed 4. So it was better to have that.
I see. Sure. Very good. Very good. Well, Y Zone, like we mentioned, with school underway, it is getting going today, and kids will be utilizing that. Does it work differently for early dismissals or anything like that? Does it cost more for early dismissals? Anything like that?
It does, and don't ask me to give you the exact prices. That'd be on our website. I just don't have them on the top of my head. But this year we did have to, because of a 1:30 dismissal. Most of those kids I've got staff there an extra 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're using after school at that 1:30 dismissal, I think we increased it $1 for that just the after school, $1 or $2 to help cover that cost. That's one thing that we always strive for at the Y in our programming is to make it affordable. We're a non-for-profit organization. We're just hopeful that every program can keep us in just at that red, black. I mean, we don't want to be in the red. We want to be in the black, but we're not trying to make tons of money. That's just how the charitable organization works. Also, a benefit of Y Zone is you don't have to be a YMCA member.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
There's no membership that's required for it. We have a lot of parents that use Y Zone that are members because they use the Y for swim lessons or tumbling, or they themselves use the facility for their health and wellness plan. So it's a nice benefit, and that's a huge benefit for our Monticello parents that use our Y Zone that's over there. They're 30 miles away. And so they only use the Y Zone program, although some of them do have memberships because they use the facility or they use it for swim season when Monticello kids come over for a swim team. But that's a great tribute to the Y and trying to make it affordable. It's like, we're not asking to you just need the Y Zone. We're not going to ask you to be a member.
Speak to the Monticello program. Where does it get held at? What does it look like? What are the logistics of that program?
It's all at one location in the old elementary school there is also called Lincoln. And so that's where we house that. It's ideal because it's the only program that's there. The school does a great job of helping us and collaborating with dropping off the kids from school on a school bus. And the parents, the community have really showed their appreciation for that program and what it's done for Monticello.
What are the age groups that can utilize Y Zone both in Clinton and Monticello?
It's K through 5. And the main reason for that is for our license exemption through the Department of Health Services in the state of Illinois. I mean, for us to be license exempt, it has to be school age kids.
Sure.
So we don't, anything that's pre-K or less is a whole different licensing for preschool.
I see.
And so K through 5 is the heart of our program.
And I didn't mean to bury the lead. I know we had, like I mentioned to you off the air, and to Ryan Payton, who was the superintendent over there, you'd be on the program here this morning. I didn't want to exclude the Blue Ridge folks. You're introducing, and you talked about this with us last month, the program over in Blue Ridge. Talk about that. Yeah,
it's a great opportunity for us to reach out throughout DeWitt County and the communities that are not just Clinton. Obviously we do, and Monticello is not even in DeWitt County, but it is in the Y's jurisdiction. But working with Blue Ridge this year and providing that after school care on those days that the district has had those early outs that they know are going to be early outs. And there's 6 of them in the school year. So what a great way for us to really introduce the program and kind of get some feedback from parents to see if a everyday Monday through Friday Y Zone is something that would be feasible for us to run. It does take a number of kids to keep 2 staff people there and not lose money on a program. And so this is great for us and to kind of test that and see where it could lead us. So we're excited to do it. It's September 16th is their first one. And I do feel like the Blue Ridge will even give us some insight on how to schedule some specific programming for Y Zone. Because, now that we know it's September 16th, it may not be on the first one exactly, but let's say the next one that they have in the following month, we could bring all the kids to the Y and have them swim or bring in a program for the kids, an activity that they can partake in, and instead of it just being, a typical after school program. Yeah, that's cool. Have you had much interest in terms of signups or anything like that? Or is signups underway for that program? How does that work? Yeah, I think the last time I made contact with Blue Ridge on the numbers, I think we had 8 kids signed up. And since then I think we've had 3 or 4 added to it. So I was pretty sure that registrations will pick up when we get closer to that September 16th date. Sure. Because that's the first date that they can even use it. So we do have to have a certain amount of kids, but the school district has really stepped up to help parents that do need that. And that they're going to, they've applied for a grant to even help with kind of scholarship it, so parents don't even have to pay the true cost of an after-school program.
Neat. How about
I think
that?
It's $10 that they have
Mm-hmm.
in it, and so that's a good program that the school is trying to offer the parents for this new after school or the early out days that Blue Ridge has implemented.
You may have said it and I missed it. Will students have to be bused at all for that program? Where will it take place? Where will they congregate? How about that?
I do not, but it's at Schneider Elementary.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think what grades they have maybe in
Mansfield.
Yeah. 4th and 5th grade.
Okay.
So yes, those kids, if they needed wire zone, would have to be bused to Farmer City, the Blue Ridge School District at Schneider. And so everything will be at Schneider in the cafeteria. And we're actually taking some staff over there September 2nd after school to kind of get the lay of the land and meet the staff, the secretaries there in the office, so that they know kind of how to be ready for this first day on the 16th.
Yeah, sure. Coming right up. Well, that's really neat that program is happening there. And I know they're fairly excited about the prospect of maybe this going to an every, after school, every day type of program. So
yeah, it's neat to see the different communities and the needs. It's Blue Ridge obviously is not a large school district, but you would, think that there'd be a lot of parents that could take advantage of some after school care. I mean, the kids are there. They're not being sent someplace else. They're at a safe location. So we're hopeful, and we'll just adapt and add to it with what the community's needs are, and be glad to help.
Very good. Well, on that note, Rennie, anything else Y Zone we didn't touch on you want to put out there for us?
I think that's a good summary and good information out
Cool.
there. If anybody has any questions, just let us know at 217-935-8307. You can get on our website and check out everything's online. You can register if you wanted to online.
That's
if you have
right.
a problem, give the front desk a call and they can walk you through the steps.
Very good. Rennie Cluver is the executive director of the Clinton YMCA. My guest in studio today. More to come with Rennie on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly higher, beans double-digit higher, wheat slightly lower. September corn up 1.5, 460.5. December corn up 1 3/4, 485. March corn $5.75 up 1 3/4. September beans up 12, 11.89 3/4. November beans 12.04.5 up 12. January beans up 12 1/4, 12.20. September Chicago wheat 673.5 down 1 1/4. September KC wheat is up 1.5, 7.56. September bean meal 311.70 up $1.50. September bean oil up 99 cents, 70.43. Livestock trade August feeders up 82 cents, 341.65. August live cattle up 252, 226.15. October lean hogs 82.57 up 82 cents. Energy market October Brent crude oil 88.79 up 27 cents. RFD Radio Network.
WHOW is your home for Clinton Maroon sports. Tune in all season long on 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, or stream the games live on the WHOW app. Go Maroons!
Spring brings brighter days and more time to enjoy them. Your home should too. At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, enjoy one-story living and walking paths right outside your door. Spend less time on upkeep and more time enjoying spring. To learn more, click RIHAM at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio, again, Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA. Rennie, the fall programming slate, I'm sure, is either underway or getting ready to kick off. What's going on? What did I say? Summer, fall sports schedule. What's going on there?
Yeah, I wish I knew the exact details, but our outdoor soccer will be starting very, very soon.
Okay.
And so games will take place at Prairie Passage, where they have the last couple of years. And Melinda is transitioning right into that from summer camp. And of course, now she's got Y Zone. Then she also does all of our youth sports too. So the details on as far as practice times and all that is in the mix. But I know that is starting really, really soon. If you need any information, please get on our website, because there again, that's online registration for that. Or if you want to know deadlines, everything should be on there to give you an idea of what's to come.
Very good. So check it out. The fall sports season is getting into full swing. And I know you've had some changes over the last few years to just kind of your structuring of when you're doing certain sports. How much has that changed in the last few years?
Yeah, we used to do flag football at this time of year. And we used to do an indoor soccer. Well, we've changed indoor soccer to where we've replaced that with flag football to offer it to more kids that may be wanting to do JFL and flag football. And then so we just have the one soccer program, and it is a large program. Usually we have a good number of kids that come out and learn the fundamentals. Some of them are more advanced than others if they've got a little taste of soccer, or they come from a school district that they've had soccer. But Melinda's done a great job, and we've got some great volunteer coaches to really provide them with a good program on learning the skills and being able to enjoy that time out on the soccer field.
You know, we were talking in the break with just about any sports programming you're going to do at the Y. You're up against something. You know, JFL, basketball, summer baseball, whatever the case may be. How have you found participation to be in these programs with that in mind?
Yeah, it's changed. You know, youth sports has changed dramatically. We've got a lot of kids that are busy all the time. They roll right into the next sport. You've got some that have focused on one or two. So it changes. You know, I think for us, the kindergarten through second grade is where we see the most number of kids. And then once they start getting older, there's other opportunities for them that parents are getting them involved in. We still see a good number of those kids, but you know, we can only do what we, you know, the kids that show up and register, and we'll adapt and make the best of it so the program is worthwhile for everybody.
Sure. Very good. Well, we mentioned first segment, Y Zone's underway. Rennie, how do folks get registered for Y Zone? Learn about whether it's sports programming, Y Zone, or whatever's happening at the Y. Where do folks go?
Well, we made it easy for you. Get on our website. Everything's online there. You click the link and you go into our system and follow the instructions on if you're a current member or not, or if you have your ID, and makes it as easy as that.
Very good. Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton Y. Our guest, Network News is now.